Hello and welcome. No, let's play. Me, GamerWolfSix, Vampyr. Yeah, I can do that. On the last Let's Play, we joined the Econ Club? Basically a group of vampires whose goal, at least they say on the open, oh hey, is to help the crown, supposedly. Hey guys. I'm gonna go where that one lady was standing because, hey, we're supposed to ask locals about possible sources of infection, and also wanna talk to the locals and be like, hey guys, got anything interesting? Can you give me experience points by having me talk to you?
Good evening, miss.
Oh my god, no. Please, Mr. Vampire, don't kill me. Please, no. I'm too young to die. I still have so much to offer this world.
Wait, no.
It sounded like she
Why
was
do you
faking.
think I would... What?
Don't worry, Dr. Reid. I know you wouldn't harm me. Mother told me you were in this part of town and might drop by.
Your mother?
My name is Charlotte, sir. Charlotte Ashbury. My mother taught me long ago how to recognize the signs that betray a vampire.
I understand
What?
she also taught
The,
you how to tease and gently mock innocent
iris things and the
young
veniness?
girls. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Charlotte. What do you think about this part of town?
I was raised here, and I suppose it feels like home. You grew up in this part of town too, did you not?
Yes, I was born a few streets away.
A small world, is it not? Did you ever imagine that my mother was your neighbor all that time? That you could have met her in a dark alley at night?
You won't trick me twice, young lady. We both know Lady Ashbury never hunts or attacks prey at random.
Come on, Doctor. Don't tell me you never thought about that possibility. Her fangs on your neck.
Oh, woo.
Are you blushing, Dr. Reid?
Is there something that's bothering you?
Too much selfishness and individualism for my taste. Even when there was no epidemic.
Even if that's partly true, may I remind you that many charitable institutions are financed by the selfish and filthy rich.
Not many
I
enough.
suppose you're right. But society must reform and renew itself, or we are all done for.
Tell me about your adoption.
What do you want to know?
Who are your real parents?
Elizabeth Ashbury is my real mother. She raised me and has taken care of me all my life. I have no idea who my progenitors are or were.
Do you live with her?
I still spend a lot of time in my mother's mansion, but I have my own house now. I have a life to live, you see. And one day, I'll have my death to face.
How did you meet Lady Ashbury?
First, I was an orphan in the institution for girls she manages in the West End. When I was 10, she adopted me, and I have lived with her ever since.
Did you know she was a vampire when she picked you?
The correct word is Econ, Doctor. And no, I had no idea why my mother only showed up at night. She told me everything when I turned 16, though I suspected the truth for a long time before that.
What are you doing out here?
You mean, what do I do outside at night since I am a woman? Let me ask you a question, sir. Would you ask the same question of a man?
Actually, yes. I ask the same question to everyone who dares to go outside at night, considering the risks.
Well, if you must know, I campaign for the right to vote for all women. Why should I wait to the age of 30 years when men can vote at 21?
Are you a suffragette, then? Oh, you really are Elizabeth's girl. Without a doubt.
All adult women have the right to vote in the US, in New Zealand, and in Australia. But women here can't vote unless they are property owners.
No need to convince me, Miss Charlotte. I have shared your opinion for a long time. Even before I met Emmeline Pankhurst.
Really? Oh. Now I see why my mother appreciates you so much.
I guess he was
There
the
aren't more men like you in the vicinity.
big suffragette person.
How are the locals reacting to your claims?
People here can't wait for a wall to be built to isolate the West End from the rest of town. That's how progressive they are. If this happens, Emily and I will blow it up.
Explosives are very dangerous, young lady. And who is this Emily?
She is my best friend, and a suffragette too. She was supposed to campaign with me tonight, but hasn't turned up.
Have you any reason to be worried about her?
Recently, Emily started to believe in... well, she got interested in vampires. I'm afraid she might be in trouble.
Let me guess. You spoke to her about us, didn't you? Despite your mother's warning. I think I should try to find your friend.
Oh, that would be top-notch. I can tell you where she might have gone. You have my thanks, Dr. Reid. And please, don't tell my mother.
Oh, my mouse is...
What exactly has your mother told you about me?
Your name and profession, obviously. And the mystery about your maker. I'm sorry to hear about what happened to your sister, sir. Mother says it was not your fault.
Does it not scare you to know what I am? What your mother is?
Why should it? My mother is the most compassionate woman. Must I be wary of her, Dr. Reid? Or you?
I'm gonna say no.
Of course not. You have nothing to fear from me, or your mother.
Good to know. And don't worry, my mother told me everything I need to know about vampire tricks, their nature as well as features.
Your mother is not like any other vampire I've met.
I believe she thinks the same about you, Dr. Reid.
Just don't bleed in front of me, okay?
Do you know why Lady Ashbury chose you to become her daughter?
No, I don't. Each time I ask her that question, she smiles and says it's precisely because I dare to ask such questions.
Do you ever regret that she chose you?
Of course
That's a weird
not.
question.
Though I often wonder if she adopted others before me. If so, where are they buried? How was it for them to pass through life with a never-aging mother?
Okay. Pathological
I'm
infection.
investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual recently?
A few days ago, I spotted a strange house while campaigning for women's suffrage. Awful smell. No answer when I knocked.
Where is it?
It's the Mullaneys, a nice family who live in a big house near the park in the eastern part of this neighborhood.
Okay. Thank you.
Goodbye, Charlotte.
She's been...
Ooh, I was gonna... You healthy. Okay. He's healthy. Oop, actually, let's look at side quests. Nope, there's another person.
Good evening, sir. May I have your attention, please?
Come on, Johnny. Don't you recognize your oldest friend?
Clarence. Clarence Crossley. How are you? My God. So you survived the war too. So sorry I didn't recognize you at first.
I almost didn't recognize you either. War does that to men, I heard. In my case, it was true, for I witnessed the horror that lies underneath.
When did you escape the war and return to London?
You know what's funny? I almost never think about the war. Not anymore. I'm involved in another kind of battle now.
I know what you mean. I haven't had much time to think about the war either since my return.
Of course.
Yeah, I guess because of the
epidemic,
empirism.
I bet you've been busy as well. Forgive me.
I wasn't
Johnny,
gonna click that, but I was like,
didn't
well,
wanna sound selfish.
gotta click on all the things.
What is this new battle?
I saw terrible things during the war. Horrors I thought I'd forget. They're here too. They're everywhere. Vampires.
Ah. Okay.
Do you need...
It's a little late for visiting out.
Okay, I'll burp
see you.
back.
How is your wife, Venus?
We've spent so much time away from each other. And so many things have happened.
But you're alive. You returned in one piece and you have a family. How many soldiers can say the same?
Believe me, it's not quite that simple. Unlike you, I'm not the man I used to be.
Is everything all right at home? Surely Venus was relieved to see you return from France in one piece.
Have you forgot what people are like in this part of town, Johnny? Venus fears for our family reputation. Now her husband has become the village idiot. Infection is everywhere these days.
Yes? What about the Mullaneys?
Not enough noise for a big family with children.
Okay, we'll
You
check
need-
that out eventually. First, we check out the entire town. Is there a hideout somewhere? Behind me and in that area. Might as well get his migraine thing. I might as well make like one low-level thing for everything, you know? For fuck's sakes, I've had a beer and I'm like, whoa. My mind's getting all weird.
Place for you, sir.
It's up here. Oi! Really? Okay, how about this?
Shit, where'd it go?
Oh, right. Still only 5 XP, even though I killed an entire man. Nice place. Ooh, pizza.
Mary? Oh, my dear daughter.
Oh, hey.
How are you tonight? How is your sweet boy?
Is this my house? Hey, mother dearest, I'm gonna take your opium.
Mother. Good evening.
Jonathan! Is it you? Where have you been, my prodigal son?
Isn't the
I'm
prodigal
right here.
son supposed to be the son that
Finally home.
spends
Yes.
lots of money on all
But this
stuff?
son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and now found. But where is your sister? Where is Mary?
Mary. She is gone, Mother.
I know she's gone. The question is, when will she return as you have? I miss my grandson so much. It's been days since their last visit.
Tell me about your life story.
Mother, do you know what's been going on in this area?
Not really. I don't go out much due to the epidemic, and when I do, I tend to get lost.
What do you mean you get lost? I hope you don't go outside alone.
Of course not. When I go out, your father always comes with me, but he leaves me there sometimes, and I have trouble finding the way back.
Have you returned
Is
to Whitechapel
Dad
Cemetery
alive?
since Mary's funeral?
I never want to go back to that awful place. Wait. I think I went back once. And you were there too. And Mary? No, that can't be true.
It was just a bad dream, Mother.
A nightmare, yes. Mary was so angry. I walked back home alone. If that kind policeman had not called Avery from the station, I don't know what would have happened.
Yeah, an old lady just in the middle of a vampire and people that murder random people filled neighborhoods.
Do you
That's-
need anything, Mother? Can I help you?
I just want you to stay with me, Jonathan. Your room is ready. I asked Avery to make your bed.
I'll stay as long as I can, I promise. Do you need anything else?
Just one thing. Stop staring at me like that. As much as I love you, it breaks my heart to look at those empty and dead eyes.
Okay, I'll blindfold
Are
myself.
you working on a new painting?
Not recently. I have trouble focusing on my subject and my mind quickly drifts. It's the same thing when I try to write poetry.
I recently met a talented painter with an excellent technique. I wish you two could meet. I'm sure you'd like her.
I'd be glad to meet her. What is her name? Is she famous? Is she dead too?
She's not famous, and her name is of no importance. And yes, she is also dead.
The important thing is, I hope you two get along. If she ever fancies meeting your mother, I'd be glad to welcome her into my home.
Wait, hold the phone.
Are you?
Not-
I recently...
I'd be glad to meet.
She's not famous.
The important thing is, I hope you two get along.
Okay. He said, she's dead, and she's like, well, she's like, oh, I hope you two
Why do
get
you say
along. I know
Mary
you're a
is
vampire.
visiting you, Mother? You know that's impossible.
I might be crazy,
Why
but I'm
should
not
it
that
be?
crazy.
Are you not standing in front of me right now? Why should it be any different with your sister?
I'm not dead.
But I'm not dead, Mother. I'm really here, talking to you, trying not to cry.
Oh, it breaks my heart to have to tell you this. But of course you're dead, my darling boy. Just look at you, as pale as my Mary.
But Mary really is dead, Mother.
Yes. And are you not dead too? Isn't your father dead? And my grandson, and my son-in-law, you're all gone. But you all still visit me from time to time.
Well, as long as you're happy. Do you have a migraine?
Do you need my-
I'm all right, son.
Is that everything?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Why isn't there flowers in front of my room, Mom? Mom?
I remember Sunday walks in the park.
I remember walks. I had one, like, some time ago. It was fine until it got hot. And then I had to take my shirt off. And then everyone was looking at me. Oh, yeah. I know. I constantly flip-flop between, hey, I feel sexy and I know it, and, oh, here's this just me being fat. So who the fuck is that? Wow, that howling sound reminds me of, what's it called? Long Dark. Also, I see these cabinets pulled out. Is that just a random thing, or is this guy pilfering from us? Only I pilfer from
Good
us.
evening, Avery.
Mr. Jonathan, I can't believe my own eyes. Oh, it's a miracle. We all thought you were... Oh, sir, your poor sister. What a tragedy.
I know, Avery. I know about my sister's murder.
Miss Reid expected you to return to assist with the funeral, right up until the last minute. Where have you been, Mr. Jonathan? We needed you here.
Oh, tell me about your life in London.
How is my mother?
Not well, I'm afraid, sir. Miss Reid is very fragile since the police brought her back home.
The police? What happened?
Miss Reid was found walking in the streets. She kept saying she had spoken with her son and daughter. She's resting now.
Has she received appropriate medical care?
I'm taking care of Miss Reid myself. Hospitals are so overwhelmed by the epidemic that they can only accept patients infected by influenza.
It's weird how these people constantly are just moving about. Like they
Perhaps we
seem
could
drunk.
arrange a short trip. Somewhere sunny, like France. She has always been very
Like,
fond
that's
of France.
fine. But then,
I think leaving
We'll
London
get to that point.
would do her good.
I'm afraid Miss Reid is too frail for the moment. Recently, she started going out at night without remembering it. I have to watch her carefully.
What is the situation in this part of town?
For a time, the West End seemed spared by the epidemic. But the situation is getting much worse.
Have you no relatives anywhere? I'll understand if you want to take a few days to see family.
Your father managed to guarantee my earnings as long as I take care of this house, sir. My sisters are dead, and I've never met my nephews. I'll stay, sir.
I'm sorry I could not be here for Mary's funeral.
Your mother was strong, sir, but your support would have been appreciated. Apart from the priest and I, no one else attended your sister's funeral.
To be present at the funeral with you both was my dearest wish, Avery. But I'm sorry, I simply could not attend.
I would not dare to question your absence, Mr. Jonathan. All I can say is that we missed you a great deal during these difficult days.
Tell me the truth, Avery. Do you feel forced to stay here? Would you leave this house without the arrangement made by my father?
No, sir. I have nowhere else to go. And I promised your father I'd take care of his family as long as I live.
This house is dead, Avery. There is a curse on this family. You really should consider leaving.
If only you could have been here sooner or more often. Maybe this house would not be that empty. But you're here now, sir. So my task is not over.
Still need somebody to look after Mother. You know? And, I mean, where's he gonna go, really? Because he can kind of be the surrogate husband, caretaker person, you know? For money.
You have served this family extremely well, Avery. Your support during these terrible times is much appreciated.
Then I will stay. All I ask is that you take care of my own funeral if I die before the end of the epidemic. No mass grave, please, sir.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm not sure about being in London, but we could transport you to some other place to have, you know, another burial.
You really think I don't take enough care of my mother, Avery?
Yes, I do, Mr. Jonathan.
You clearly have something more to say. Speak your mind, Avery.
I know you work hard to help the sick, but what will you do once the epidemic is over?
Be undead, I guess. I mean, the people of London need me.
I really don't know. I have always enjoyed seeing new horizons. Once the epidemic is over, it would be nice to leave London for a while.
I understand, Mr. Jonathan, but you have to realize that your mother needs you. Your next departure could break her heart.
Could give her heartbreak.
I found an old letter written by my father and addressed to me.
Didn't read it.
Do you know anything about it, Avery?
Your father wanted me to give you this letter for your 35th birthday, but you left for the war, and the letter remained in his office until tonight.
I realize now you knew my father better than I did. Do you know why he left, Avery? Did he ever speak to you about his departure?
No, sir. Mr. Reid was not exactly forthcoming. Perhaps this letter will give you the information you require. Not really, except all the MacPhersons' servants resigned a few days.
The MacPhersons?
I think it's a rich house near the railway bridge in the southern part of the district.
Is that a
But
different
of
place?
course-
Nice house. Oh hell. Not a loading screen. Why are you in front of a flower thingy? Who are you talking to anyways? Oh yeah, the migraine. You know, I heal myself by drinking my own piss.
Good evening, old chap.
I won't lie.
Do you need medical?
It's a little.
What can
I
I?
hope we're talking about.
Can I, free this up? Cool. Good thing it was just a door that needed to be slightly pushed from one side. You know, I don't know. Anything else?
Waiting for you to let your guard down.
I mean, we're
Good
here.
I won't.
Tell me what you have discovered about vampires, Clarence.
They've always been here.
Was this the woman's
If you
person?
search for long enough, you realize others know about these devils too. I'm not alone.
Have you shared your research with anybody else?
No. But I've published my leaflets all across the city, hoping that someday someone will realize I'm printing the truth.
Truth. Tell the
What do you
truth.
mean you're not alone? Who have you met?
The Guard of Prewin, the Brotherhood of St. Paul Stole, Ichabod Throgmorton. Those names always pop up when you dig deep enough.
Have you spoken with any of them?
No. With the quarantine, it's almost impossible to leave the West End. But as a doctor, maybe you could, Johnny.
Are you asking me to help you prove the existence of vampires, Clarence?
Yes, Johnny. Please, gather all the information you can find about vampires and bring it to me. You're the only friend I have left. I need you.
You need...
I hear people talking. Where's here? Oh.
Hello? Is anyone there?
Jonathan, is that you? I did not know you were back in London.
I'm back in
Oh,
London.
my dear Johnny, I'm so sorry for your loss. Mary was such a sweetheart.
Thank you.
She tried to kill me.
May I come in?
I was going to bed, actually.
Let me in.
I'm sure you can spare me a few minutes. For old time's sake.
Of course you may enter, Jonathan. You are always welcome here.
It's weird that I need
this
to do
hour-
mesmerisms to do
It's a
that.
pleasure to see you again, Venus.
So you returned from the war in one piece too. Thank God. My Clarence is back home too.
How is the old rascal?
Probably outside, chasing ghosts and chimeras. Clarence has changed a lot since he returned from the war, you know.
How have you been since the last time we met? How long has it been? 3 years now?
I've done my duty, like all British women. You have no idea what it was like to wait for months without knowing if I'd still be a wife or a widow.
I understand. Luckily, this part of town has been saved from the worst of the bombings, from what I've seen.
Yes, and it's also true about the epidemic. The flu has killed here too, of course, but not on such a large scale as in other parts of town.
Venus, why do you worry so much about your family's reputation?
Everyone laughs at Clarence now. And they avoid me because they believe I share his insane opinions. I'm a leper in my own community.
Have you noticed anything peculiar about the neighborhood recently?
You mean except for your return to town? No. Oh, and again, Jonathan. Please accept my condolences for your sister.
Thank you, Venus. It was so sudden. And I've been so busy, I haven't spoken to anyone about it.
I wish I could have assisted at the funeral, but you know, it's been so quick. And what with the epidemic in the streets?
There's no need to apologize, my dear. It's normal, considering the circumstances.
No, it's not. I am sure that Clarence has not even thought to present you his condolences. He is too busy with his penny dreadful stories.
Why is my return so surprising?
It's more an unexpected happy end than a surprise. You and Clarence, back from the war. You have no idea how hard it's been for me.
Tell me about Clarence's obsession with vampires.
It drives me so crazy it makes my stomach hurt. I was so relieved to have him back. But I quickly realized he'd lost his mind in France.
I understand your irritation, Venus. But you have to accept the trauma Clarence endured on the battlefield.
The question is simple, Jonathan. Is my husband mad? Yes or no? Do vampires exist? Or is Clarence a lunatic?
So you don't believe Clarence?
If poor Mary, bless her soul, had tried to convince you of the existence of bloody vampires, would you have believed her? Seriously?
What about regular vampires?
The important question is, what do you really think of your husband?
I'm tough, Jonathan. He should have told me the horrors he witnessed, however appalling it was, instead of inventing a fantasy about blood-drinking monsters.
The
McPhersons.
They could just be afraid.
Perhaps you're right.
Goodbye.
Oh, right. How's your health?
What do you...
Do you need...
No, thanks.
Okay. Gonna pinch all your stuff and call it. So that's gonna be the end of this Let's Play. So I'd like to thank you all for watching. Please comment, guys. I like comments. Tell me what you like. How is I'm poor anyways? Like, I could understand when I, you know, didn't have my family's money and all that stuff. I was just somebody on some section of the town. But now I'm like, you know, on the other parts of the town. So, you know, one would suspect that I would have wealth. Something that could be useful in buying and selling of goods and services.
It's locked.
And all that stuff. So yeah, comment because I like comments. And would you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like my YouTube and like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and share the rest of it. Really? Can I move downish? What's in here?
No invitation is needed to enter this building. That can't be a good sign. No sign of a struggle. Emily wanted to become a vampire. Something must have gone wrong. Someone is responsible for this mess. But who?
Well, I accidentally did into a quest, and there's blood on the floor. And blood there. Blood outside. Oh, might as well, well, hopefully I'll remember it as I eat. Because I was gonna quit this and eat, you know? Where's this way going? Oh, that's that way. Wrong way. Why can't I just yeet over that fence? Do I have to have a secure landing or what? Do I even have to, like... Do I have to go throughout that house to get to that house or what? Also, that is weird. I thought that whole, hey, I needed... permission to go into a house was just fantasy and fairy tale, but I guess not.
Hello, V.
I remember when Mary came here with her husband.
Sorry, I need to go teleport into someone else's house. It's an emergency.
Blood. I should follow the trail.
Oh, now it's here. And until next time, let's play GamerWolfSix Vampyr. Hopefully it's fine there. See ya.